On today's episode of Brewed and Boozed, we celebrate one of New Orleans' finest holiday traditions, Cafe Brulot. Come celebrate with us at the Gilded Perch, where we talk to Sue Strachan about the beverage, and Benji, the Gilded Perch's Brulot master, will show us how it's done.
We're here with Benji, the Cafe Brulot master here at the Gilded Perch. Go ahead and show us what Brulot is and we'll talk about it.
So Brulot starts with, or at least in our family, it starts with orange peel that is studded with cloves, and then lemon peel. And we sit there and we learn from kind of a very young age, as long as we're old enough to play with sharp knives, to sit there and peel the orange and the lemon in such a way that you get as little of the white pith on the inside as possible, so that it doesn't make it bitter. So then it starts with those, and you stud the orange peel about every 2 inches with cloves, and then a few cinnamon sticks in there as well. And then we go in with a heated mixture of half rum and half brandy.
What kind of rum are we using? Is it a
honestly,
crystal? Is it spiced? Is it aged?
At home we use whatever we have on the shelf.
Okay.
It's kind of a nice bar clean out kind of
Gotcha.
time. But at the Parkview we use this Plantation OFTD. It's an overproofed rum, so it makes it flame nicely.
Nice.
And we use this E&J brandy.
Oh, okay.
So then we go ahead and we light it.
Ooh. This is the fun part.
And hopefully it's dark enough to see the flames in here. And so as it gets burning, it's going to take a little while because the liquor has cooled down just a little bit, but it'll get there. We should see it start to flame.
Very cool. So I'm assuming I can't just take my normal kitchen bowl and try to do this at my house.
So no, there actually are special, there it goes. There are actually special silver bowls that you have to use, or copper bowls. And I believe it is a silver-plated copper bowl, I could be wrong there, okay. But that are treated to withstand the heat of the Brulot. Because if you touch the bowl, it's actually very hot and can burn you.
And I noticed the ladle has a little strainer on it too. Is that just in case?
So that comes more into play when we serve the Cafe Brulot, because all the cloves and the cinnamon in there can break down a little bit as we agitate it, and the strainer actually helps strain out some of all of those little bits and pieces of spices that are in there.
Very cool.
Hi, I am here with Sue Strachan, who has written this lovely book called The Cafe Brulot. How did you stumble into Cafe Brulot?
Well, the first time actually was probably when I was in college here, and I think it was at Galatoire's, a classic old school New Orleans restaurant. And I had my first Cafe Brulot, and I think you never forget your first Cafe Brulot. And the flaming cocktail and the show and the presentation was fabulous, and I always remembered it. And whenever I go to an old school restaurant in New Orleans, I always order it at the end of the meal. Years go by, and then the pandemic hits, and I get a phone call from LSU Press. They said, "We love your writing, and we would like you to write a book about some New Orleans cocktail, and here is a list of cocktails." And I saw the list, and of course I go to Cafe Brulot, and that's how I stumbled upon writing the Cafe Brulot.
Now, you have mentioned that it seemed a daunting task to start with, yes?
Yes. It's, researching any sort of cocktail or food or anything in particular is always daunting. But not everything has a straight line origin story. And when I first started researching this, that the story was John Lafitte invented it, or it was invented during Prohibition to mask the flavor of alcohol. Both of which I sort of was like, this doesn't sound right, because John Lafitte was a early 19th century pirate, and I don't see him making flaming drinks in the middle of the swamp or on his pirate ship, to burn it down or anything. Or during Prohibition, because you need the alcohol, ABF, enough
Right.
ABF to start the flames. So I dug a little bit more, and great, the food and cocktail community is very supportive, and I reached out to a bunch of people, and they said, well, we've heard about Armagnac, which is the French brandy. It's the oldest brandy. It's made in Southwest France. And so I got in touch with their PR representative in France, sent some emails, and they were delightful and sent me all this information about the Brulot, which is made in Armagnac, France, or in Gascony, France.
And that is made with Armagnac?
It's Armagnac brandy, and that's the base of Cafe Brulot, is always brandy. It can be brandy, it can be cognac, it can be Armagnac. But as we found out at the Gilded Perch, they do mix it with rum. So everyone has a little bit of a different recipe, but at the end of the day, brandy plays a big part of it.
So have you run across any recipes that don't use brandy?
Now we're going to Cafe Diablo territory.
Ah, okay. So now we're into a different.
Now we're down to a different drink, and that's totally based in rum, and you can do the same sort of ingredients, and you end the drink with coffee. And Antoine's menus from, I'm going to say the early 20th century, had, I think, both Cafe Diablo and Cafe Brulot Diabolique, which they called it, on the menu.
So, we just had a wonderful demonstration of this, and you can take the Cafe Brulot after you've flamed it. If you have any left over,
Yeah.
I can't imagine who those people are.
I don't know who they are either.
But this is a Cafe Brulot martini.
Very good.
So, is it vodka added to it?
There's
or
vodka.
is it gin?
It's a vodka. It's a vodka martini, and the Gilded Perch, the family who owns it, Creel, came with their own special Brulot mixture. It's their secret recipe, so I don't know it, but it's very tasty.
Ah, nice. And then they also have a Brulot milk punch, which is a riff on the brandy milk punch.
Yep, exactly. Yep. And their special special recipe too for that. Their special Brulot, and they do it very fancy. They put it in I think just a little mason jar, and it has this little sticker on it.
Classy.
It's the basics.
They make some of the greatest cocktails
They
here.
really do.
Tell how the Gilded Perch Cafe Brulot experience sort of came to be.
So I had been asked to speak in front of these literary societies in New Orleans, and one of the co-owners' mothers was a member of it, and she came up to me afterwards and said, my family, has been making this recipe, Cafe Brulot, as a family tradition during the holidays, and a lot of families in New Orleans make Cafe Brulot during the holidays. I mean, you can get it year-round, but a lot of people still focus traditionally in New Orleans on during the holidays. I emailed Liz Creel, who's one of the co-owners, and she's like, I love the idea.
Do you like Cafe Brulot more now that you've done the research, or pretty much the same?
I like it more, and I'll tell you a funny thing about the research is, so I did most of the research during the pandemic, and Antoine's was very generous. Lisa and Rick Blunt allowed me to come in. Protocols were obviously taking, we were doing that, and Charles Carter, who makes it, sat there and did a demo of different types of ingredients. So we tried it with different coffees. We didn't do it with different brandies. We just did a general brandy, but we did different orange liqueurs. We did it without orange liqueur, but did it with Kirschwasser, was the cherry brandy.
I'm curious to try that.
And it's I like it better with Kirschwasser. And then, for coffee, I like coffee and chicory better than just it's French dark roast. But this is the first time they do it here with decaf coffee. I like it. So it's however you want to make it. I mean, I like the decaf coffee because if it's late at night and it's the end of the evening, you're not bouncing off the walls, particularly with French dark roast.
Well, and I think it does go very well with the holidays because of the clove and it has a lot of holiday.
The cloves make
flavors.
it completely like the cinnamon, the cloves. I mean, how can you not think of the holidays?
Right. Now, you said that you had one without cloves.
Oh my God, it's so bad. No, just
Good. Don't give up
don't
cloves.
Don't do it about clothes. Yeah, but then very much the balance of it. It can affect it, and too much sugar too. I've seen places where the waiter bartender is sitting there doing this with the sugar, and I'm just doing this because it just tastes like sugar water.
Right.
Yeah, takes
Yeah.
out all the subtle flavoring.
Well, and here they use a proprietary, less refined sugar from a family-owned sugar business
Yes.
close to their house.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you really do get very special Cafe Brulot during this time. Parkview Historic Hotel is Uptown's place to stay. Its beautiful rooms, family feel, and southern charm, coupled with this great location, make it the perfect spot for your next New Orleans stay. Brewed and Boozed is giving away a $25 gift card to the Gilded Perch for drinks at an upcoming Cafe Brulot event, as well as a copy of Sue Strachan's book, Cafe Brulot. To be entered, you need to like this video, follow Brewed and Boozed on YouTube and on Spotify podcasts, as well as Instagram or Facebook. Tag a friend on Instagram or Facebook that you think would love to join you for this holiday experience. Cafe Brulot demonstrations begin Friday, November 29th at 6 p.m. The Sunday celebrations on December 22nd and December 29th start with a happy hour at 5 p.m., followed by an author talk and the presentation of Cafe Brulot. Special New Year's celebration, Tuesday, December 31st, starts at 6 p.m. The demonstrations are free and open to the public with tastes of Cafe Brulot while supplies last. Happy hour begins 1 hour prior to the event, and you can purchase Cafe Brulot-inspired cocktails using their house-made Cafe Brulot liquor. If you'd like to schedule your own private Cafe Brulot event, contact the Gilded Perch via email. Their email is info@parkviewguesthouse.com. You're not going to want to miss this event.
My family does Cafe Brulot for pretty much every big celebration. There are 4 boys in the family, and any excuse for us to play with fire is kind of a fun little celebration. And so, kind of from an early age, I can't quite say when my first time doing Cafe Brulot was. It was probably around when I was tall enough to hold the spoon high enough that it didn't catch the rug on fire.
Nice.
And make it back in the bowl. For a while now, competed over it at family holidays about who gets to do the Brulot and whatnot.
Are you the one who usually gets to do it? Is
So-
yours come out the best?
Well, I won't say that. It's between me and my brother Zach. Henry and Cal don't do the Brulot as much, but my brother Zach and I do it, and I think at this point our Brulots are basically indistinguishable. We've kind of gotten it down to a science and have our own family recipe that we follow.
Nice. And then I remember you saying something about singing the French national anthem?
So in our family, we, because it's Cafe Brulot, it's a very French tradition, or a tradition with French roots. We grew up singing the French national anthem, and that was how long we would burn the Brulot for. Unfortunately, my mom is the only one at this point who knows the French national anthem, so we kind of just hum along with her and, pretend like we know the words, and we all know the part that goes, Marchand, Marchand, and then it's, but other than that, we kind of, last Thanksgiving, we sang the Star Spangled Banner, and that's just kind of how long we burn it for. I'm actually going to go ahead and put this out now, because if you burn it for too long, it picks up a little bit too much of the citrus and can start to get a little bit bitter. But so actually what you do is you put it out with the coffee just until the flames go out, or the smoke detector goes off, and that is
Live theater, y'all.
live theater. So we actually had to move where we did Cafe Brulot at our house. We'd always used to do it on kind of one of the mantles where it had marble underneath it for the fireplace, and that way, if you splashed it, it would go on the marble and wouldn't, catch a rug on fire or anything. And then, unfortunately, when my dad went through and reinstalled some smoke detectors, he put a smoke detector right above where we traditionally did Cafe Brulot.
Oh, no.
So we had that happen at a couple Christmases and Thanksgiving, and it took us longer than we probably should have to move the Cafe Brulot to the other side of the room. But so that at this point is kind of part of the tradition of
and it makes
the smoke detector going off.
It makes it more exciting.
It does.
It absolutely.
It does. So at this point, we're going to add a bunch of we use a raw cane sugar that we actually get from some friends down near Bayou Teche. Sometimes we'll even add it while the flames are still going, which gives it kind of a caramelized flavor.
Oh, okay.
But then the most important part, at least in my opinion, is trying it before you serve it so that you know you made a good batch.
Oh yeah, you got to make sure it tastes good.
I would drink it.
You drink it? That's good. That's
Can I
good.
get you a glass?
Sure.
Yes, ma'am. And so this is where the strainer and the ladle comes into play to help strain out all of those little bits of seasoning. Unfortunately, it makes it pour very slowly, so sometimes it gets hard to feed a crowd quickly.
Yeah. Thank you
Yes, ma'am.
so much. Let's
No
see.
problem.
Let's taste it. It's really nice. You get a lot of like the orange and the lemon and a little bit of the cinnamon, and the sweetness is nice. It's not too sweet. That's why I was a little nervous when I was like, I don't know about like a burnt sugary coffee, like. But no, it's very nicely balanced. It's really, really delicious.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for showing us how to do this.
No problem.